set up your password. You then have to log in. You then have to go find your checkout page to actually make that purchase. The drop-off rate is substantial when you do that. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted to optimize the checkout workflow process to help with conversion rates when somebody is coming through the system. And so you have both in our systems, you have both public checkout pages where somebody doesn't have to be logged in and they can go through the workflow, as well as internal to the dashboard, because the exact opposite holds true once somebody is a customer. Once somebody is a customer, you don't want to redirect them to some outside website to purchase. You want to have it all internal to the dashboard that they're already logged into with calls of action and make it a very streamlined process. And additionally, because they're logged in, we have all the information for that customer, so we can pre-populate different form fields for them to where it'll make it very easy for them to go and check out. Basically, for this one, you click 2 buttons, and then you can click complete order, because they have, we have pre-selected models as well, to where you can auto default to plans to pre-select for individual clients based on what they're going in and selecting inside the system. And so all they need to do is they'll pre-select the plan, they click 2 buttons to agree to the terms and conditions, they click complete order, and they're up and running. They didn't have to go fill in all their billing details again. They didn't have to select their products. It's just a very streamlined process to really help with that conversion rate, which I'm sure your
হ্যালো,
salesman
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম, ভালো
will
আছেন?
really enjoy.
ওই একটা আপনি কি কোনো কুরিয়ারে জব করেন নাকি ব্যাংকে জব করেন?
Regardless of how somebody checks out, it ultimately ends up into
ও
our orders
একটা
bucket.
একটা কার
And so
আসছে
what I
মনে হয়,
flipped
আপনি
over
ফোন
to
দিয়েছিলেন
here
তো?
now is
ও তো
the,
জামালপুরে
for
না,
lack
ও
of a
তো
better word,
ঢাকাতে,
the
আর আমি
CRM
তো
system
জামালপুরে ছিলাম,
that
আমি
use the
ইন্ডিয়াতে
prop
আসছি,
firm
আমি
will
ব্যাক
log
করব
into every single
17
day
তারিখে।
to
তো
administer
আপনার
your
কাছে কাটা
business.
রাখেন
And
সিরাজুল মনিরের
the
নামে, হ্যাঁ, আমি গিয়ে
checkout
নিব।
workflow, regardless how somebody checks out, comes into this system, and it
আমি
gives you all
আসবো
the information
17
about
তারিখে, আজকে তো 17 তারিখ,
what
কালকে
order
তো
ID,
বন্ধই।
what product they purchased, what the
16
product
ডিসেম্বর
name
তো
was,
বন্ধই, 17
whether it was
তারিখে
a
আমি
free
আসবো।
trial or a normal product. Did they have any add-ons on the order? Who the client was? Did you process it successfully? If
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ,
so,
হ্যাঁ।
how much money did you collect? Were there any
না, 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 না,
discount
আপনার
codes
আমি
on
তো
the
ব্যাংকে
order? If so,
বলছিলাম
what
ব্যাংকে
discount
রাখতে,
codes? Were there any
হয়তো
affiliates
কুরিয়ারে
on
দিয়ে
the
দিছে।
order? If so, it'll tell
আপনি
you
আপনার কাছে রাখে
affiliate.
দেন, আমি জামালপুরে পৌঁছে ফোন দিব
Trading
আপনারে।
accounts on the third-party trading
17
platforms
তারিখে
created
তিস্তায়
as a
চলে আসবো তো,
result,
দুপুরে
and
বেড়ে খাওয়াবো
ultimately what
ইনশাল্লাহ।
customer inside of our system did it go under.
হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে।
And what this
ওকে।
does is it allows you to have a real-time stream. As you can see this bar, this real-time stream, as new orders coming through, it'll sit here and update, bring them in. And what it does is it provides you a centralized location to access all of your order information. You're not having to go to your individual payment processors to see if you collected the money, and if so, how much, and if there was a discount code. You weren't having to go to some third-party affiliate software to see if an affiliate was on the order, and if so, which affiliate. You won't have to go to the third-party trading platform to see what trading account was created as a result. You don't have to come to our system and see what customer did we put that under, and if we magically tied all this stuff back together. You can come to this one screen and see all that information. We have obviously a lot more reporting around this. This is designed to be a real-time streaming, but there's all sorts of reporting that I'll cover as we progress through this with, abandoned cart orders, how many purchases you had over periods of time, where those purchases came from, broken down per country, all of that information we have in further advanced reports. I'll cover. This is, again, meant to be the real-time streaming just to make sure everything's working properly. Moving along, plans. So something that probably made us so popular in the early stages, and especially now, is we build what's called plan types. And what a plan type is, it's any unique way that somebody passes or fails one of these challenge accounts, as well as all the custom automated workflows that go on behind the scenes. These plan types are highly configurable, and you're able to accomplish pretty much anything in any custom workflow that you're looking for through the configuration settings that we have in here at this point. As Justin mentioned, we had the luxury early on, and still to this day, of working with some of the largest firms and working with so many firms that we have seen so many different varieties of what people want. We've worked with one-step programs, two-step, three-step. We've worked with instant funding. We've worked with traditional prop firms. We work with firms that scale up. We've worked with firms that have consistency rules. We work with firms, all sorts of these different the methods that people want. We have fortunately been able to see it along the way, and so we built our system in such a way that it's highly configurable inside of the plan types, to where you're able to come in and make adjustments on your side and get it all set up the way you want. So again, I'll show you how Surge Traders works, just to give you an example and walk through a couple scenarios. But again, we add these different plan types across the top. So you can see here they have 3 different ones. They have what's called a one phase. They have a 2-phase edition. They came out with this Lightning. So these are all things we go in and we put in the plan type for you. And then once the plan type's in, you can add as many different plans as you want, and you don't rely on any more development work after that stage. It's up to you. So if tomorrow you came up with a $1 million plan type with 501 leverage for $50 and 50% drawdown, you don't need us. You can click this add button, add new plan type, and you're up and running. So I'll give you some examples and walk through some of the scenarios of the workflow. But as you can see here, all of this stuff is configurable settings inside of here. There's all sorts of radio icons that you can turn on and off for different add-ons. Are you going to scale up? Do you have repeat plans? Do you have breach coupon codes? Do you have bundles? All of these things. We put all these variables inside of the plan types so that you can customize and configure it exactly how you want it to work. To go through a couple of those examples, let's say I come in and I purchase this product. Our system's going to pick it up. It's going to create a 100K seasoned audition account. It's going to create it on this specific Think Markets server. It's going to create it in this specific Think Markets group, and it's going to set the leverage on that account to 10-1 and deposit $100,000 in that account. That automatically happens. It generally happens within 15 to 30 seconds from the time the order is completed by your payment processor to the time the account is created at the brokerage account, and then the email is sent to the client. And so why that's important is this industry is very much about instant gratification. And so this really goes in line with that, where a client's order goes through and within 15 to 30 seconds, they have the welcome email in their inbox saying, hey, thank you for the purchase. Here are your login details, and they're up and running. You as the admin also receive an email notification. So we have admin emails throughout the system. So anytime something's going on in the system, whether people are purchasing, whether they're breaching their accounts, whether they're creating contracts, requesting payouts, there's all sorts of notification emails that go out to you as the admin to alert you about what's going on. Now the client received their credentials, they're up and running, and our system starts tracking this account instantly. And let's say, for example, I start my account with $100,000 and I'm a horrible trader and I lose $5,000 in day one. Well, that's my 5% daily loss limit. What our system's going to do is it's going to automatically disable that trader's account to prevent them from placing additional trades. It's going to liquidate all open positions. It's going to cancel all pending orders, and it's going to trigger out notifications to the customer in several different ways, letting them know, hey, unfortunately, you violated your daily loss limit. Therefore, we have closed your account. That automatically happens. There's no human intervention whatsoever in that. Then let's say a different scenario happens. I start with $100,000 and I'm an excellent trader and I make $10,000. Well, that's my 10% profit target. What our system's going to do is it's going to automatically generate a pass your challenge certificate. So we've built our own certificate generator that will go and create a certificate and notify the client saying, hey, congratulations on passing your challenge. Here's your certificate. You can download it. You can share it on social media. You can do all sorts of things with it after that. From there, for Surge Trader, they run what's called a scaling plan. And so when somebody passes the challenge, they present the customer with two options. They allow them to claim their live funded account. So meaning I'm in a 100K account. Pardon me for 1 second. Apologies for that. I just had to sneeze. They give the trader two options when they pass their challenge account and allow somebody to scale. So they do what's called demo scaling. And so when somebody passes their challenge account, the client gets a notification, says, hey, please log in your dashboard to choose your path. And one of those paths is they can claim their live funded account, meaning the system will just go and upgrade them to their 100K account, or they can do the scaling option where it'll go create them a 250K audition account. Again, if they do the scaling option, it's going to go automatically create them a 250K audition account. It's going to email those credentials out to the customer in real time. There's no human intervention that goes on. It just automatically happens, and you obviously are notified via one of those admin alerts saying, hey, this person just selected their option. They claim to scale up to the 250K account, and just to notify you and let you know. If somebody does the 100K live account, what many firms are doing these days is they are starting to be more compliant with regulations, in the sense that they want to collect AML KYC documentation, as well as they want to collect a trader agreement prior to allowing that person to go trade on their account. And so what we've done is we've automated that process for our customers. So the first step of that is AML KYC completion. And so if somebody does a 100K account, they hit their 10% profit target, it triggers the email saying go claim your choose your path. They select 100K live account. What our system does is it looks up, has this person been verified in the system yet? Yes or no? If the answer is no, it's going to prompt them to log into their dashboard, where they go and they complete AML KYC. And you can see here my verification is not yet completed, so I need to start the process. What we've done here is we've integrated with third-party vendors that do this. The two most popular in the space are SumSub and Verif. Those are the two that we have integrations into at present moment. And you can see here the client logs in, they need to do it. We then sync with SumSub to collect the IDs, proof of residency. They also require a selfie to do it. And all this documentation via the API integrations with these firms gets sent over to that third party to go verify. Once the third party is verified, it comes back to our system in real time, and we update the status of the customer to say that this person is verified inside of the portal, yes or no. And if they get verified, we go and we update it and say they're automatically verified. Then we have built our own version of DocuSign to handle the trader agreements. So as soon as somebody's verified, they get issued a trader agreement. And we've done that on our side through, again, we say we've built our own version of DocuSign, so it's very similar. When we first started, we integrated with DocuSign, HelloSign, and a lot of these other ones. But we found the workflows to be very inefficient for this type of business, and there's a lot of confusion and extra customer service and things like that went on, or those email notifications were going to spam folder and people didn't see it because they didn't realize that they were supposed to be getting an agreement from DocuSign. And again, the workflow just wasn't there. So we generally take the approach that if we can build something out and make it more efficient and do a better workflow, and it's not overwhelming for our development team, we will go and we'll do that. The certificates were one example of that. We had used to integrate with a company called Incredible, and we realized, hey, we can go build this out on our side and make it better for our end customers and display all those in the dashboard, and it's just a better overall experience. And so we went and we built this out. The same thing is for the contracts. My team wanted to kill me because I took it 10 times further than what we initially had scoped out. However, we wanted to make sure we did it right with all sorts of verification settings and ensuring that it very much is similar to a version of DocuSign, just applied to our application. And so I'll walk through this functionality because this is a big functionality that we spent about 6 months on to get it rolled out. It's been had a very large uptake and great customer feedback so far from all of our clients. So the way it works is you just set up a contract, whether it's an affiliate contract or a funded trader contract inside the system. And what we do is it's all HTML based. And so you can build the HTML directly inside of here. You can just copy and paste it. We give you all the dynamic variables that go on to any sort of contract, like customer address, their billing details, their first name, their last name, all that information that when somebody's doing a contract needs to be signed. And then you can come over here and you can see the preview of what that contract is ultimately going to look like. And then once the contract is there, and the person has passed AML KYC, they will be prompted to go log in to their email where they need to sign that contract. And so if I come in here and I log in, you'll see I have a contracts tab off to the left-hand side, and I can see a list of all of my contracts, including the one that I need to go sign right now that I was notified via email that is currently pending. And so going back to my comment about we wanted to do this the right way and do all the levels of verification that a DocuSign would do, we want to do the same thing on our side. And so the first step, as you noticed, is I had to go log into my dashboard to even be able to view that contract. So there's one level of verification. The second is I had to pass AML KYC to even be able to sign my agreement. When you're setting up the agreements, you have the ability to toggle this on where it requires verification, meaning until they pass AML KYC, they cannot sign this agreement. And so that's 2 levels of verification. A third level is if I go to sign this contract, what happens is I get sent a 2-factor code that I must input in at the time of signing this. So if I come and I read that entire contract, I scroll to the bottom, you'll see here I agree and sign it, and I get presented with this security code that I must then go and input into the contract when signing it. So it goes to the email address on file. So there's 3 levels of verification. And once I agree and sign, I'll pull this up, and if you've ever signed a DocuSign agreement, you have all sorts of stuff at the bottom. And so what we do is we do all of the private key and customer data that we stamp onto every single contract. So if you've ever signed one of those contracts, you see all this information that generally doesn't mean a lot to anybody that's not actually looking. But the first is, all the private keys that go onto the contract. So if anybody ever changes it, you have a record of this on your side. If somebody tries to change it, display it off as their own, that something has been changed on there. And additionally, we pull back all the customer information about their browser, what type of device were they on, their IP address when signing it, what URL were they on. All of this information gets pulled back and stamped onto these contracts that both you as well as the customer have access to, so that if anything's ever changed or anything has ever been adjusted, it'll go and it'll break that private key, so it's easily identifiable. And so again, we went through great lengths to ensure that the end person signing the contract is who they say they are. There's the 4 levels of verification. You must log into the dashboard to do it. You must have passed AML KYC. You have to do a 2-factor code, and then the private key and all the customer information at the time of signing it. And so we can unequivocally verify that the end user is who they say they are when they're signing this contract. Now the person has been verified, they've signed their contract, and after that, there are several different paths that firms like to go. And so this is a configuration setting by the end prop firm. What some firms like us to do is they want us just to automatically go and create the customer account and enable that account and allow the person to start trading. So 100% of that can be automated. The customer purchases, they pass their challenge, they select which method they want to go. Let's say they select claim live funded account, they pass AML KYC, they sign their contract, and they instantly get their funded account. There's no human intervention that needs to be done. It just automatically happens. That's one step. Other firms want to do a manual review prior to going live. And so in that situation, what we do is we have a tab called Pending Enabled, where people will go and they will sign their contract, they will pass AML KYC, and then it goes on a list here where somebody has to go from your side and just click one button, and then the rest of the automation happens. So you click enable, it'll then go create their live account, it will email them out their credentials, etc. Every firm has different reasons for doing it the ways they do it. Most firms, I would say, want to go this route where there's some sort of manual intervention. There's a few scenarios off the top of my head that come up, whether the firm wants to check to make sure they have margin in their trading account to be able to facilitate trading on this funded account once they issue it. And other reasons, maybe they want to make the determination on how to hedge that risk at that time. Do they want an A book or B book or copy trade, or however they want to manage the risk? They make that determination a lot of times before they issue the funded account. Maybe they want to check for toxic order flow. Maybe somebody was doing something that violated the terms and conditions during the assessment period or challenge period, and they want to go and just verify that before giving their funded account. There's lots of different reasons, and I can say every firm does it differently, which is why we built our system to be configurable, and you can have both options. You can either just automatically go and do it, or you can have this one click, just double verification before they get it. Again, you just click the button and it does all the rest of the automation for you. It's not like you have to go manually create accounts and things like that. Moving along, just like any other CRM system, we have customers, and then underneath of those customers, you have all of the details for that customer. Starting with every single prop account that has ever been created for that end user, whether it is through you manually clicking a button at the top, whether it's coming through an order. If it comes through an order, it'll give you the order number that it was associated with. So you can see here. If it's been upgraded, it'll tell you what account it was upgraded to, and then you also get these high-level overview as well as the status of the account. Is it breached? Has it been reset? Has it hit profit target again? If it's been upgraded, it'll tell you what it's been upgraded to, what plan it's in. You get all that information inside of the system here to where you're able to go and access it. What's cool though is, I just want to make sure I got the right account. What's cool though is you can see all these are hyperlinked, and so this gives you a high-level overview of the account. But if you click on any one of these accounts, it takes you into an account details section where it shows you all sorts of information about this account, starting with how it's currently configured. And I say the word configured because what we've done is we have made the accounts editable down to the account level. And so what you can do is you can click on this edit account button, and what happens is the plans and the plan types are how you automate the process through the checkout workflow. But if you ever need to override the system, you can click the edit account button and it will pull up a new screen, and you can see all of those items that were at the plan level when I was setting up are now here at the account level where I can go and I can configure it. And so if I want to configure something, I'm able to go do that. So say I want to change my max drawdown for whatever reason for this customer from 12% to 50%. I can come in here, I can make that one-off adjustment, and now that person has a 50% drawdown. It instantly recalibrated it. Or maybe this used to be popular, but a lot of firms have done away with it. They used to have like a max time where you had to do your challenge within let's say 30 days. And if you didn't, you violated a hard breach rule and you lost that account. And so what a lot of people used to do was, they would contact the firm saying, hey, unfortunately, I had some personal issue that came up. I wasn't able to trade the account. Can you just give me, a couple more days so I can go trade it? In our system, the answer is easy. Yes, I can do that. Here, I'll give you an extra 15 days. You go, okay, max time is now 45 days, an extra 15 days, instant recalibrate. The person is up and running now within an additional 15 days. I didn't have to create a new plan or plan type or account and try to reconfigure the account. I could just go and adjust that account and give that one-off customization to that customer. And so it's a tool that when we thought through the process, and if anybody comes from the MT world, they can appreciate this. Where on MT, a lot of stuff's done at the group level. If you want to give somebody, say, a different commission type, you have to go create a brand new group and then go move that account into that group, and it's a huge pain. And so when we were building this out, we had the foresight to say, hey, most stuff is going to need to be down at the account level. And so we took that extra time early on to make sure that most things transfer down from the plan to the account level, and so you can give off those one-off customizations without a lot of issues. Moving down, anytime something happens on an account, we have what's called account history messages. whether it is the account is violating a rule, whether you're manually in here doing something. So you can see here, you can breach or unbreach, whether the client's requesting a payout, whether a payout's being approved. Anytime something happens on an account, it gets stored here in the account history section. If you give me 1 second, I just want to go grab a different account because I did not grab the correct one that I wanted. Okay, here we go. So you can see there are all sorts of different messages inside of the system. I just wanted to grab one that breached so you can see what that looks like. These messages in the account history are very specific. You know, your current equity of 43,000 was less than your max drawdown, therefore the system auto liquidated you. So they're very specific messages that come back through the system when something occurs. You obviously, as the admin, can see this information, but we also disseminate it to the customers in several different ways. The first way is in all of our builds, there is a notification section. Some firms will put it on their dashboard page where you can see here it's an account by account specific thing where they can come in and they can see all those different messages. Some firms will do it as its own separate tab where it'll sit there and highlight at you and flash at you saying, hey, I have a new notification, and all of your accounts are combined into one, and you can see the account number, when it happened, when it came through, and the message. And so whichever way you go, both of those are, you know, an option. So they get it inside of their dashboard. We also send them an email notification at the exact same time that a breach is occurring. This customer is receiving a custom email with the same information as from this message. And then a third thing that we do, and most of the FX platforms allow for this, so like MT4, MT5, CTrader, they allow for us to actually write comments on trades. And so if our system's ever the one closing a trade, we take advantage of this comment field and actually write the comment inside of there about why that trade is being closed. So you can see here, I violated my max drawdown, so we write it on the trading platform. And so what this does is it prevents, it provides detailed feedback to the customer, letting them know why their account is no longer active or all their trades just got closed in multiple different forms, whether they're on their trading platform, whether they're inside their dashboard, whether they're inside of their email. They're getting these messages in real time. And what this does is it significantly reduces your customer support burden because they're no longer just left questioning what went on with their account. They're being notified in real time about exactly what's going on with their account. And so it reduces your customer support burden pretty significantly. Then moving down, I'm going to go grab a different account, which is where I know there's going to be some data. Moving down, we have metric history. So what we do is we calculate all sorts of metrics on accounts, whether it is somebody passing or failing one of your challenges, as well as all of these ancillary items that a lot of firms like to show these days, like Sharpe ratio, loss rate, ROMAD, you know, win percent, high water marks, profit factor, all these stats that are custom on like a trading journal. Many firms are now carrying these over to their dashboard where customers can see all sorts of these different stats and things like that that are, you know, more like nice to have metrics versus, you know, it's not really how I pass or fail. But we do all sorts of calculations. I think there's about 100 different calculations in there right now that go and can be included on side of the dashboard for your customers. And what we do is these update relatively quickly. And so if it is somebody violating a rule for such as violating their daily drawdown or max drawdown, it's calculated roughly every 6 to 10 seconds at scale. So every 6 to 10 seconds, we're able to identify that this person has violated this rule and go and get that account shut down to prevent them from placing any further trades and get those trades closed to prevent any further losses on the account. All the other stats, those update roughly every 60 seconds to 90 seconds. So every basically minute or minute and a half, their dashboard is updating with all their additional stats, that are just, they're there for display purposes, but don't actually have any impact on you or the challenge account. And so we put those into a separate process that are a little bit slower so that we can optimize the rest of the processes to be able to capture and detect breaches faster. Then something that we do is we store it day over day. So this top line is updating at those time frame or intervals that I had mentioned a second ago when accounts are active. And then every single day at 5 p.m., similar to MT, we take a snapshot of where that account finished off. And so if there's ever questions from a customer or yourself about, hey, where did my account finish on December 7th? I can come down here and I can see every one of those stats on where that account finished at 5 p.m. Eastern. It goes and takes a snapshot and updates that record. And so whether you have questions on it or you want to see, where an account finished or your client has questions, you have all those details readily available at your fingertips. Then, like any other trading CRM, we have all the trade history, so all the closed trades on there, all the open trades that come back, any cash deposits, withdrawals that have hit the account are all tracked there. Those are standard things in any trading CRM system that you're going to see. One thing that we do is we work with firms that range from single person operators all the way up to people or firms that have 300 plus customer service employees that are spread out globally. And so we built tools inside of our system, similar to CRM systems that you probably worked with in the past, to be able to allow firms to grow and scale their business and keep track of what's going on. One of those features is we have this notes functionality where at the customer to account level, anybody can come in and type a note. And you can see here, I wrote one on November 30th. My user did it. So you can see your owner, and then I just put some gibberish in about what that note is, but it gives you who wrote it, what the date and time was, and what that note was. Theoretically, we were on this call, I updated my max time to be able to trade, and I updated my maximum drawdown to 50%. I should have wrote a note. I should have let some of my colleagues know what's going on. But if you're like me, I fail to write notes a lot. And so what we have done also is we have full edit logs. Anytime something happens on a customer account or a customer level, it puts an edit log in here. And we also have this throughout the system in a lot of different places, whether you adjust plans or emails or orders. We have a ton of edit logs in here so that you're always able to track what's going on with your employees and what's going on in the system. And so it's no surprise, if something comes up. As you can see here, I have a few notes where, the owner changed the max trailing drawdown from 55 to 90% on this date and this time. I switched accounts, which is why it's not today. As you remember, a few moments ago, I was on a different account. I flipped over this to get the account history, which is why it's showing November 30th. But regardless, you can see exactly what was changed at any given time at the exact date and time and by which user. And so there's all sorts of edit logs inside of the system, again, at the account level, customer level, plan level, email level. And so there's no surprises, or there should be no surprises when something happens. You know exactly who did it and what they did and when they did it. Along the same lines, we have full manage user permissions throughout the build. So there are different roles throughout the system. You have owner, user, partner, manager, admin, and there's payouts here. Each one of these roles does something different. And so it ranges from owner, where you basically do whatever you want in the system, all features, functionalities, all the way down to a user, which is a low-level customer service person that has minimal information. These roles work for most firms, but something that we are doing, and it's on our project roadmap for Q1 of next year, is expanding these roles. Because as firms scale, they start having different departments and the needs for different roles. This payout one is a prime example of that, where this firm hired a person to only do their payouts. And so the only tab that they have access to are these payout tabs over here off to the left-hand side, so they can approve prop payouts and they approve affiliate payouts. We have it on our project roadmap for next year, we're going to add a lot more roles in here to start accommodating that. Marketing roles, email roles, different permissions here to accommodate more use cases. So as your business scales and you start breaking out different departments and have different people inside of there, you'll have a specific dedicated role for them. So that is on our project roadmap to add additional roles and features in here. But right now, these roles in here work for 99% of the firms. We've just noticed with some of these larger firms, the 300 plus employees, they will have different departments that go and access all this information. But then again, you can create as many users you want. There's no limitation to users. You just go add new user and you give them a role. You generate them a email or an email and passcode, and you send it over to them. They're up and running. Another functionality that we have is we've built our own email template builder in the system. So every single transactional email goes in here. So all your welcome emails, your breach emails, your pass emails, your payout emails, your affiliate emails, your, if you're running competitions, your competition emails, all of that information goes inside of here. And then we put all the triggering events in here. So you're able to come over and select every single email that you want. You get presented with the HTML code. So similar to the contracts, it's an HTML builder. You can either build the emails directly inside of here or copy and paste. We give you all the dynamic variables here. Also part of the intake process and go live process is you'll get this on Excel sheet. So you'll get an Excel file that explains every single variable and what each variable does. So you're not having to guess, but you're able to do it inside of here as well. And so you can build the email, you can send some test emails, you can make it live, you can save it. As you can see, as you're building it, you can come see what that email looks like just before you go and make it live. So it's a pretty robust email builder, and you're able to come in and change subjects, who it's from, sender name, etc. This was something that came up last year again as firms scale. Not all emails necessarily come from support. Maybe you build a payouts team and all your payout emails are going to come from payouts at yourcompanyname.com, or you do an affiliates at, and so you can set up different email addresses and send them from different ones so that it gets broken up to different divisions within your organization. Again, it just goes into, we've had the luxury of starting this industry so early that we've seen firms grow and scale along the way. So we know what potential bottlenecks and different areas that you'll advance into. So maybe right now you're just a one person firm or a couple friends that are looking to start this business, which is fine. You set up support for everything, but as your business grows and scales, you'll have different departments within your organization. And so throughout our system, you'll see and notice that you can scale your business and then customize and configure our technology to work with that scale on your side. You may have noticed I was very specific when I said transactional emails. We did not want to replicate marketing CRM systems. That is something we, the HubSpots and Salesforces of the world have spent hundreds, if not billions of dollars building out their technology, and it was not something that was easily replicable. And so what we did was we took the approach of doing integrations with their APIs. And so our system is designed to send all the transactional emails to your customers. When they're taking action in our system, here's an email. However, obviously, most firms we work with also have a very large marketing component to them. And so what we've done is we've integrated with most of the major CRM providers out there, the HubSpots of the world, the Infusionsofts, the SendGrids, the Sendinblues, there's a few other that aren't coming to my mind right now, but we've integrated with them where when somebody's interacting with our system, we are also sending messages over to those systems to let them know, hey, this person purchased, or this person abandoned their cart, or this person breached their last account. All of those messages get sent over to the HubSpots of the world to where you can then go set up your automated drip campaigns. And so, by personal preference, I think HubSpot's the best. We have a very thorough integration with that one. If that's something that your team needs as you grow and scale, we just go and we implement it into there to sync with your HubSpot. Something that we do that's unique with our emails, we not only store a record of it being sent, but we also store the physical email. And so if I come on back to my customer, you'll see there's an email component to it, where of course I can see every email that's been sent, from who it was from, who it went to, what the subject was, the date and time. No status means it's sent successfully. If there's a status, it'll tell you the reason why it failed. Of course, that's all there like any other CRM system. But what we do that's unique is we actually store the physical email that was sent to that customer at that date and time. And we do it for two reasons. The first reason is from a customer service perspective. If you're like me, I get thousands of emails a day, and half the time they go into my spam folder, and I'm always contacting my various vendors to resend the emails. Well, that can be complicated if you haven't stored the email. So we store the email where with a click of a button, you can resend the exact email that customer should have received and gotten on, December 14th. As we were on this call, my affiliate request had been approved. And so you can go and resend it to that customer without needing to piece the emails together, go to your email sender and try to figure out what email was sent and try to resend it, and piece all the information there. It's all readily available with a click of a button. Second is, who knows what comes right now. There's no regulation in the space, but there could be at some point in time where you need to store the emails, and maybe somebody comes to you and says, hey, can you tell me what email this client received on such date? The answer is yes. You can download this. This goes and gives you the HTML format of that email to where you can see exactly what that customer received. And so all of those emails are at your fingertips for all customer communication that got sent from our side. Obviously, if you're sending marketing emails, those will be in your HubSpot and whatever marketing CRM that you use. These, again, are all the transactional emails that got sent. Moving along, we have discount code functionality built in. Again, this is something, as I mentioned at the top of the call, is something that we brought in-house because the use case for this industry is like no other, where generally speaking, a discount code is something that you create in advance and utilize it as a marketing effort to give certain individuals a discount off their purchase price, and no other tracking has to go on from there. So say I come create an account, I want to give somebody 50% off if they use this discount code when checking out. Of course, we have all of those. You can give percent or fixed dollar amount off. That is there. However, what this industry has done is taken it one step further past that, where now the discount code doesn't just apply at the point of sale. It needs to track throughout the life cycle of that account. And so what I mean by that is what some firms do is they do, this refund amount where they'll say, hey, we'll give you 125% refund if you use this discount code and you get to your funded account and you receive your first payout, we're going to give you the 125% refund. And so even just explaining it's a little complicated. Imagine trying to manually track that, especially if you are like a surge trader where you have what's called scaling plans. And now all of a sudden you have to track it through 9 accounts, because let's say I start with a 25K account and then I scale to a 50K, then a 100K, then a 250K, then a 500K, then a million. And then I finally get to my funded account, 7 accounts. Then I finally get to my $1 million live account, and I'm profitable, and I request my first withdrawal. I need to have known that you use this coupon code on your order so that I can go give you 125% refund when you request that withdrawal. So firms took it way past the initial sale to where now it's through all this tracking. And so discount code vendors can't do that. What firms were doing is they were trying to manually track all of this stuff, and it just was not going well. And so we brought that in-house, and we automated it so it all tracks. And I'll cover this here in a few moments, but when somebody goes and does their payouts on there and they request their payout from the system, you can see here now there's a refund amount that'll automatically track it through to the system. So we're like, this firm, the client requested $71. They're getting a refund amount of $586.80 on that purchase. So the client total amount that will be sent to them is $651.46. And so again, that all started because this person used that specific discount code when going through the checkout process. And so that's for refunds, but there's also, sometimes firms will run promotions on Profit Target. Hey, use this code and get a lifetime payout on the account of 90% instead of our normal 70%. Or maybe during phase 1, if you pass phase 1, we'll give you a 15% bonus. If you pass phase 2, we'll give you another 15% bonus on the P&L you made. There's all sorts of different use cases for these. So these are the ones that are currently in there. But this is something we're open to ideas, and if there's other things that people would want to track, it would be something that we would potentially go and add additional tracking mechanisms for different things that you may or may not want to do. Then moving down, similar to all other discount codes, you can limit it based on specific plans inside of your system. You can limit the number of uses on a per customer or overall basis. You can limit it to specific customers. You can put the start and end dates. These are all things that go on any other standard coupon codes. The real core functionality and the unique thing that we have is really that we track it through the lifetime of that account, the life cycle of it. So global discount codes are one. We also have what's called a breach coupon code. So what a breach coupon code is firms in this space want to incentivize people to repurchase if they fail their audition or their challenge. And so what firms were doing was they were manually creating breach coupon codes for people of, hey, when they breach their account, they'd go create them a breach coupon code manually. That wasn't really working. So because it's not scalable. And so what they would do then is they would create like the month of December breach coupon code, and they call it December breach coupon code. And then they would hard code that into their emails. So when somebody breached, they would receive an email saying, hey, unfortunately breach, here's the November or December breach coupon code. Well, as you can imagine, that would get leaked on Telegram and Discord, etc. And then all of a sudden there was effectively a 20% discount code everywhere online if you just knew where to look.
Yes.
And so people were not making the initial purchase, but they were just entering that coupon code in. And so we eliminated that through automation with our technology to where we incorporate it now as a step when we're breaching an account. We go and we create a one-time use discount code that's limited to that specific customer, that's limited to the plan that they breached, and then they get that discount code off or that amount off. And then it's a dynamic variable to include it in their email. So what you can do is, as soon as somebody breaches, they on top, they go, unfortunately, you violated your daily loss limit or whatever you might say, but we believe in you, so here's a 20% off discount code. And nobody else can use this discount code. It's only for that user. And so if I come over to the breach section, we track all of that as well. So you can see here, we track all the usages of this. So this coupon code is limited to this specific person. It was created on this date, it was used on this date, and it is now expired because it's been utilized. So we track all the usages of all of these items. If you ever do need to override something, again, we similar to accounts and things like that, you can give this person a custom coupon code. So if you wanted to go and for this breach coupon code, you wanted to allow them to use it more than once, you can come in, you can adjust it, or maybe you want to allow it for additional plans and not just be limited to this specific plan. You're able to go and do that customization from here. Again, we try to give you a ton of flexibility in the system and configurations to handle the one-off use cases that customers may come to you with, to where you're not relying on having to create a new coupon code and try to track that back to an account. All of this stuff is tied to a specific account and specific customer. So global discount codes, when people are purchasing, running promotion, breach, when they breach their account. We also have affiliate discount codes. So if you want to run affiliate models, I'm gonna flip over to theirs because I think they do a little better job with it. Affiliate discount codes, you can. So if you guys listen to podcasts or on social media, a lot of times they'll say, if you listen to Joe Rogan, hey, use the code Joe Rogan to get 5% off your next order. Well, he's doing that because two reasons. One, obviously he can give you 5% off your order as an end customer. But he also does it because it tracks that sale back to him, and he's able to receive credit for making that referral.
No,
And so
five.
we've built the same technology
three.
into our system as well,
3 is better.
where there's affiliate discount codes
Wow.
that each one of your affiliates receives. They're customizable, so they're auto-generated, but you can override it and customize them for every one of your affiliates, which I'll touch base on here in a moment. But at the end of the day,
6, 5.
you can go give your affiliates different discount codes that their end consumer can then go and utilize. So 3 different levels. Again,
4, 5.
we built it in-house specifically because, again, we wanted to tie the affiliates, the global, the breach,
No.
these, and be able to track it all the way through the life cycle of accounts. But with the affiliates, that leads me on to the affiliate section inside of our system. As mentioned, we
me,
built this
man.
all in-house.
Not him.
And if I come here, so again, you can see all your affiliates. There's 2 different models for the affiliates, and there's 2 different tracking mechanisms, and it's something that you tell your build manager when you're going through the intake process of which model you want to use. And the 2 models are, we can track at the customer level or we can track at the order level. And the differences are at the customer level, when a end customer makes their initial purchase, if they come from a unique affiliate tracking URL or they use the affiliate code, we then tie that customer to that affiliate. And anything that customer does inside the system thereafter, the affiliate's going to receive credit for it. And so if the customer goes on to make 100 purchases, the affiliate's going to get credit for all 100 of those purchases. That's the one way at the customer level. The second way is at the order level. And so the order level is similar to Amazon, to where we don't tie it to the customer. What we do is we tag specific orders to affiliates. And so when a customer is going through the checkout workflow and the checkout process, they're asked either for an affiliate promo code, or if they came from a unique affiliate URL. So every affiliate gets their own URL as well, where they can go and distribute it online. If they're making their purchase and they come through that or put their promo code in, then for that specific order, we are going to give that affiliate credit for it. Let's say, I don't come through the link, or maybe I come through the link and I'm not ready to purchase yet, and I close my browser and I come back and I go to purchase, and I don't come through the affiliate link, and I don't come and put that affiliate promo code in, then the affiliate's not going to get credit for it because it's on an order by order basis at that exact time. So it's exactly how Amazon does it. If anybody's affiliates to Amazon, it's the exact way Amazon does it, where it's at the point of sale of when that affiliate gets credit for it, and their browser-based cookies or session-based cookies. So as soon as you close that session, then that cookie goes away. And so again, you just specify with your build manager which method that you want to go with when you ultimately go live during the intake process. Moving along. So if I come in here and I click on an affiliate, similar to the account level and the discount codes, you also can customize affiliate settings. So one is the coupon code. So you can give each one of your affiliates a custom coupon code. So it can either auto be generated with just a string of random numbers and things, or you can come over and override the system to give them their custom affiliate code. Then what we've done is we've built tiers into the system for affiliates. And so every single, apologies, I just need to quit one of the applications with too many chat services these days. It's getting pain to my ear. So going back to this, we built different tiers, because one thing that comes up is affiliates generally want to negotiate and they want to be paid more money. And an easy way to pay them more money is say, refer more business and I'll pay you more money. And so what a lot of firms were doing was they were keeping back of the envelope deals written, and they were saying, okay, get over 50 clients and we'll pay you 10%. Well, those were forgot about, or maybe they're forgot about in time, and maybe 3 months after the fact, the affiliate's like, oh, I referred 50 clients 3 months ago. I should have been bumping up back then. And what firms were doing was they were manually having to go all the way back through and recalculate all of those commissions for that affiliate and pay them out their additional. It was a very, very cumbersome process, and obviously it led to arguments. Anytime you're doing something manual where things get forgot or lost or miscalculated, it leads to potential customer dissatisfaction, and that was the case here. And so we automated that process. And so what this is from 0 to 50 customers referred, this affiliate's getting paid 7.5%. And then as soon as they get to their 51st referral, they go to 10%, and then on their 101st, they go to 15%. The system just automatically goes and does that, and it recalculates it for that affiliate and pays them accordingly. Then you can see over here, all of those discount code functionality we brought to the affiliate level. So you can give custom affiliate discounts on an affiliate by affiliate basis. And so what it does is it allows you to give unique value propositions to each one of your affiliates. So here it looks like their discount code, from 0 to 500 unique referrals, they're giving the end customer 5% off if they use this affiliate code. However, when this affiliate reaches their 501st, they then start giving the end consumer 10% off. And what that does is allows that affiliate to be more competitive inside of their own marketplace when they're competing against different affiliates for clients to utilize their links. And so it makes their value proposition that much better. And so we brought that all down to the affiliate by affiliate basis to give the chargebacks. And so we put all sorts of thresholds around here that you can go and adjust and accommodate. How old does the end customer order have to be before the affiliate can withdraw the commissions on it? Because something you don't want to do is, client comes in day one, they spend $1,000, and you pay that affiliate 10%, so you give the affiliate $100. If you let that affiliate withdraw day one, they withdraw their full $100, and then the client, let's say, does a chargeback on day two. Well, you lost out on the $1,000 of the client, and you effectively just lost $100 because you paid the affiliate already. And so a lot of firms want to put this withdrawal delay from the time an order is completed before the client can actually go and do the withdrawal. Additionally, minimum withdrawal amount, withdrawal intervals, stuff like that. That's somewhat common. So all that's in here, and you're able to customize it. One thing that is in testing right now, and we're really excited to launch it. We started the process in August, and it's finally our development team has cranked through it and finally got there. So we're looking to roll this out at the beginning of January. Is multi-level marketing, to where affiliates can refer other affiliates and receive credit on the end customer referral. This was something that we got asked over and over and over again for, and as you can imagine, it's sort of a complicated thing to build. And so we've spent the last 6 months or so, almost 6 months, building this out, and it's in final QA testing now. And we're looking to launch this at some point in January, and it's going to be really good. We built it out in such a way where you can have unlimited levels of affiliates. And so if you've ever done multi-level marketing, some of them will cap you like 3 levels or 5 levels or whatever it is. We didn't want to put limitations on the affiliates, and we wanted to handle a lot of different use cases because everybody's businesses are different. So in the configuration settings, you will be able to do unlimited affiliate referrals. So if it's 100 people deep, you can have 100 different levels of it. And so it's really going to be a configurable, customizable solution to handle a lot of different use cases in that. So we're really excited to roll that out at the beginning of the year. Anybody on this call, it would be part of their build process more than likely. Then move down, again, back at the customer level. Everything's at the customer level. When we first laid this platform out, thankfully we built all of this in-house and from the ground up, and so we were able to spend the time in making things extremely intuitive, towards very easy to navigate through the system, whether it's through hyperlinking back and forth, or whether it is placing all the relevant information in very understood formats, to where affiliate details, it's under customer level. So all of the information, I can come here and it's readily available. My prop accounts, my
Alien.
competition accounts, my affiliate details,
Alien.
emails, it's all right here and readily available. So we laid everything out in a very easy to understand and intuitive manner. And so if I come back to here, down to affiliate details, I can see all the information about this affiliate, how much they've referred, how many referrals, commissions earned, their affiliate links, their websites, etc. It's all readily available right here. But something we do that's pretty cool too is referred accounts. So referred accounts, every single order that's ever been referred from this customer is here. The order ID, what account was created as a result, what customer it went under, the customer name, the date they purchased, the product they purchased, the price they paid, the price I paid the affiliate rate at the time, the discount code that was used. All of this information is readily available. So if you have any questions or your affiliate has any questions, it's all readily available and right there for them to see. And you can see here, once you got up over 51, it bumped up to the 10% automatically. Again, similar to the account history messages, you as the affiliate or you as the prop firm can see this, but every single one of our builds has an affiliate portal associated into it, to where you come in and every affiliate can see, the last login, their all-time referrals, commissions earned. They can see all the referrals, just like what I was able to see there. Obviously, you can hide some information, so if you don't want to give customer details on it, like customer name and email address and customer ID, all that stuff can be hidden, or you can just do, stuff like this, like the reference ID, the amount, the description, all of that stuff. So you just give them the end information. Again, payouts, so something that is cool. And before I do that, just want to briefly highlight on that, as I did it pretty quickly. So login as client, we have a handy feature where you as the admin can log in to see what the customer sees inside their dashboard. Obviously you have limited functionality. You can't go and do withdrawals or make purchases or, do request payouts and stuff like that as an end consumer. But from a customer service standpoint, your sales reps can go log into their dashboard with limited functionality to see what they see. So it's a very useful tool from that regard. Before I go over that, it's all tracked. So every time you log in as a customer, that is something that goes into the edit log as well. So you know exactly who logs in and when they log in. So anytime somebody logs in as the customer, it'll go and drop this inside the edit log. So you can see here, I went in and edited this customer, and then if I refresh the page, it'll tell me that I logged in as this user. Moving along, payouts. So whenever somebody is eligible for payout, they can request payouts. So I'm not eligible to do it here because I have logged in as a client. So affiliates can request payouts, as well as end users that are in prop accounts. They can request payouts directly from the dashboard. And you're in control of what methods that they can request. So this was something that we launched in September as a feature. Before, this was something we hard-coded in because most firms in this space used to utilize a company called Deel, D-E-E-L. We did a full integration. We still have it. We have a full integration in with Deel where it automates it. We actually had to help them build their API to work with the prop space. And so last year we started that process with them, and we did the full-on automation with Deel to be able to go and automatically create the Deel contract, automatically create the wallet for the customer, and then go issue an off-cycle payment automatically for the end user. That all worked really well up until September, when Deel exited the space. And then all of a sudden, all sorts of firms were asking for different payment methods, and they wanted all sorts of, one-off items. And so what we did was, in our bills now, we give the end consumer the ability to, or you as the prop firm, the ability to add different payment methods based on what you want inside your system. So you come in here, you can add different payment methods. Again, you can see Deel, crypto is still in there, Wise. You can do other, you can give it a name, you can enable it for the end user to request that amount. You can set different thresholds. So maybe with certain methods, you want a minimum threshold of, $25. Say you're doing a bank wire. Bank wires normally cost between $25 to $35 between depending on if it's domestic or internationally. And so maybe you want the minimum threshold for them to withdraw at $25. And so this method will only show up if you are requesting more than $50. The exact opposite holds true with maximum amount. With crypto, most people don't want to hold hundreds of thousands of dollars in a crypto wallet. And so maybe you only allow crypto withdrawals up to maybe $5,000. And if the withdrawal amount's above that, then this option won't show. And so again, you can come in here and you can give the end user different methods, and then when they're on their dashboard and select their method, they can go and choose which one is most preferred for them. Once that happens, it sends you an admin notification letting you know, hey, a new user requested a withdrawal, and then it shows up here on the pending withdrawals tab with all of the information about that withdrawal. So, what the account number is, if it's prop, what account number is, what customer, making sure they've been verified, how much they're requesting, are there refund amounts, are there any bonuses, how much is the client owed, and then ultimately what method and with all the payment details inside of here. And then what you can do is you can click approve here. And when you click approve, what happens is we have two methods that happen. The first is if we're fully integrated with the payment methods like a deal, or we're also with Crypto Orange, where they do all the facilitation of cryptos, we've automated this process end to end. And so you click approve here, it actually gives you two factors, so you got to do it twice. But you click approve there, and what happens is we go to the trading account, we deduct the 577, we then go and get 540. Let's use this one because it's crypto. Let's use a crypto. Okay, so then we go and we get $3,447. There's a conversion between USD to Bitcoin that we have synced with Crypto Orange, where it'll take this US dollar amount, convert it to Bitcoin, and then deposit automatically into this crypto wallet. That process automatically happens. There's no human intervention. You don't have to go and do some conversion on your side. You don't have to go and manually mistype a wallet address. It just automatically goes and does it into the account for that customer. Additionally, at the same time, we create a certificate. So payout certificates are something that's really popular too. So it's not only pass your challenge certificates, it's also payouts saying, hey, congratulations, you had a profit share of $7,000. Again, that's automatically created, uploaded in their dashboard where they can download it, share it, etc. So that's process one. If we're integrated with the company, we automatically do that. So the ones we're integrated with right now, in our deal in Crypto Orange. Crypto Orange is trying to become a large player in the space, and so they started out as only crypto, but they are in the process of adding in PayPal, Skrill, Neteller, Payoneer, and a lot of other different payment providers. And so they're going to become a centralized location for all this information. And so what will happen is when somebody selects Crypto Orange as an option, we will then go upload the money into their Crypto Orange wallet, and that end user can then go withdraw via whatever method they want. So that's something we're working on very closely with Crypto Orange right now, and we're optimistic that they'll be done with their side in the relatively near future. And then from our side, we're already integrated with their API. It's just about exposing those different payment options. So we're looking forward to that. If we're not integrated with it, what happens is, like Wise, we're not integrated with them. What happens is when you click approve, we still will do all of the workflow for the MT side, deducting it. We still create a certificate. The only difference is you need to manually just go send it, but all this information comes here, with the bank wire information and things like that. Another firm that we will be integrating next year, as I'm on that subject, is Rise, RISE, which is popped up here recently as a direct competitor to Deal. And so we've been working with them, and we have all their API documentations to go do that integration with them to automate the process fully. So we're pretty optimistic about that. Again, the goal is to make everything streamlined and scalable, so as your business scales, it's easy to manage and maintain all of the items. Another feature that we have is translations. So inside of all of our builds, we have a translation functionality where you're able to add whatever translation that you want to your dashboard. And so as your business scales or you're entering into new markets, you're able to go do the translations, and you don't need us to do any development work. This was a great feature that our developers actually came up with. We have an awesome team here that is very creative. The way we used to do this was we would say, oh, you want to add a new language like Thai? Great. Here's a spreadsheet with every single English text that we need on the dashboard. Go translate it to Thai and send it back to us. And then we will go and we will upload that and manually hard code that into the trader dashboard. Obviously, that's not scalable. So what our development team had the creativeness to go do was they said, no, we don't need that. We'll just, program it in. So they basically built that internally, where you can click add new language. You can select whatever language you want. Maybe you hire somebody and you want to enter the Bulgarian market. You select Bulgaria. You come select the flag that coincides with it. This might seem redundant, but English is a great example. Depending on where you're at in the world, whether you're Australia, the UK, or the United States, you might use a different flag for English. And so gave you the ability to select the flag that goes along with it. And then once you enable that, two things happen. The first is down here, it'll display it as a new translation version where you can come in and you can enter in all the translations that are associated with it. So, every single word that needs to be translated, similar to Excel file, is just done directly inside of the dashboard, as well as emails. So when you add new languages, you also get a new email template. Their purchase process, they're asked, what is your preferred language? And if they select Thai, for example, what happens is they're going to get their emails in Thai. They're going to log into their dashboard. It's going to automatically be Thai, and everything is automatically translated for them, so that the entire customer journey is in that customer's preferred language. So just going through it, you can see here. And so what we do is we tie that to the customer level too. And so as the customer changes their language, because people always forget, maybe I accidentally selected Thai, but I don't speak Thai. As I'm changing my flag and my language here, it's updating my customer record inside of the database. And so if I accidentally selected Thai and I switch back to English, then now next time I log into my dashboard, it's going to show me English. All my email communication is going to go back to English, etc. So we tie it at the customer level of what their preferred language is. So it's a pretty robust feature that's inside of the build to accommodate that. So as your business scales and you enter new territories, you're not relying on us to do any development work. You can come in and you can add the new languages for your business. A few other quick things. So I know this is long. I'm going to talk for, just to give you a heads up, probably another 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to kick it back over to Justin. So if you're just waiting on, how much does stuff cost, the different licensing options, and the business side of things, give it about 10 minutes, and I'm going to kick it back over to Justin here shortly. Moving along, reporting. Reporting is something that is very important in this space, is keeping track of the risk associated with your business, keeping track of what's going on in the system. And so we do quite a bit of reporting. The first is, and this is a feature I'll show you here in a second, is we do a risk tab inside of the build that's pretty intuitive. So we bring all the open trades back into the system, and we put all sorts of information around it. Like this account has had a lifetime payout of somehow they're negative. I don't know how that's possible. I have to look into that for them, but they're negative in terms of lifetime payouts, and then their current P&L, their customer, and every single trade that's inside of here is there with the risk that they're taking, where their take profits are, where their stop losses are. It's every single item is inside of here, and every single open trade. And this gets refreshed roughly every once a minute. But what's cool about it is you can hone in on anything. There's a search bar, so I can go, okay, give me Aaron Ellis. Let's see what this guy's doing. So I can click here. Here's all of Aaron's open trades, and I can see exactly what positions he's in. So it looks like he's fully hedged. He's, long 0.01 Bitcoin, and then he sold 0.02 down here. So fully hedged inside of his trading. Or let me say I want to get Euro USD. And so now I can search for Euro USD, and then we normalize it. So, if you have multiple brokers, say, we work with firms that have like Think Markets, Blueberry, ACAP, AvaTrade, go down the list, and there's all sorts of different brokers that people integrate with. And brokers will have different suffixes on their symbols for MT4 and MT5 due to how the platform works. And so what we do is we normalize that. So you can just search for EURUSD and you get all EURUSD, whether there's a suffix or not on it. And so you can see what your total exposure is. You can download this to an Excel file. So if you want to filter and then download, you can run further analysis on pivot tables. Something that we are actively working on is making this screen, but on steroids. So we have been actively going through this now, and it's something that we're looking for a rollout in sometime in January or February at the latest, of the same thing where it aggregates all your exposure, so you can see all your exposure broken out per symbol. Then you can come here and then you can hone in on it. So if I click that button, I can see every login inside of there, and then I can go see all the risk associated with it and things very similar. So we're actively working on putting that risk screen, but taking over its own dashboard and making it much more robust. And one of the major reasons why we're doing this is we are redoing the plumbing on how to get open trades back from MT. That is going to have this dashboard update roughly every 5 to 10 seconds. So where this dashboard inside of here does it once a minute, this one's going to do every 5 to 10 seconds. So at any point in time, you're going to be able to see exactly what your exposure is across any asset class every 5 to 10 seconds. So it's just something that it's going to be a good feature to have, especially with those people that are concerned about risk. And there's all sorts of filter options as well that's going inside of here, so you'll be able to break it down, like give me all my A-book traders at this broker, or give me all my challenge account exposure, give me all my live funded account exposure. And so it's something that we have all the pull worked out to where it's going quickly. Now we just need to go and add all the different filter options and a bunch of the customer information inside of there. So this is a big thing to work on as well. Moving along, reports. So we have quite a bit of reports inside of Build. The first is, if I come back to the customer level, we have what's called customer analytics reports, where it gives you high-level overview of this customer, both from a marketing perspective as well as a risk perspective, of how many orders, how much they've spent, how many funded accounts, how many payouts approved, how much you've paid them out, what their payout ratio is, what their average payout. Both really good things from a risk as well as marketing perspective, to know who your risky clients are, as well as your good traders from a marketing perspective. So customer analytics, but then if I come over to the reports tab, we have quite a few reports here. Where you can get information about your business. The first is withdrawable profits. At any point in time, once a minute, you can come in here and you can track how much liability you have in terms of profitable payouts to traders. So you can see a total sum, plus you can see a login by login basis, and when the next time they'll be available to do that withdrawal. And so you can plan accordingly to make sure you have enough money in your bank account to go pay each one of these traders out when their time comes due. And I'll touch base on it more here in a moment, but we also do Tableau dashboards, which I'm going to touch base on, but we track withdrawable profits. This is a real time, but then we also track it day over day, so you can see how this number fluctuates to see if it's increasing or decreasing. Other ones, we have, past statistics reports inside of here, like how many people are passing or failing based off of every single account size, all your account status report, how many new customers you have, how many people are passing, how many people are failing, all of that information inside of here. And so we have all of those details as well. If I come up to the top, there's quite a few reports here at the top that you can see. The first is, again, go back to the orders tab that I spoke about, where we have all sorts of reporting. You can see abandoned carts. You can see your orders by date, how much revenue you made, and all the order details from there. Order analytics is going to show you a breakdown of any add-ons that somebody purchased during that time. Like if you do maybe a 90% add-on for payouts, how many people purchase that? What's the ratio of people that purchase it versus not? There's a ton of insights into your orders that can be derived from here. Another report that's up here from a risk perspective is something that's called Pass Analytics. Every single time somebody passes an account, we generate an email for Pass Analytics. So if I come here, you can see it gives you all the information, and then the account number, the days it took to pass, and a bunch of stats on them: average lot size, total trades, minimum trades, average winning trade, average losing trade, what markets they traded, have they ever received a payout before, how many funded accounts have they breached. You get a ton of high-level stats, so you can quickly identify, is this person toxic, yes or no, or how do I want to run the risk on this person before issuing their funded account. And so it just gives you a lot of details every single time one's coming through. You're able to go and see this email. But what we also do is we put it on a CSV file, so you can historically go back and see every single person without having to dig through emails. You can just click this Pass Analytics report, it does a CSV file, and then all that same information is on a CSV file. Where that comes in handy, maybe you keep seeing the same person pass over and over, and you're like, man, I've seen them pass 6 times. Well, then you can go down this report, you can filter for that specific user, and you can see all 6 accounts that he's traded on to see if anything malicious was going on, or maybe you need to run risk on them a little bit differently. Obviously, inside of here, it's not very visually pretty. Inside of here, it's a lot of data on tables and the CSV files. I'm not a programmer, but a lot of programmers, I prefer to see stuff on CSV file, but most people aren't that way. Most people want to see data visualization. And so what we've done is we've integrated for all of our partnerships, we integrate into Tableau and build dashboards for each one of our traders, or each one of our partners, to visualize the data in other formats. How much revenue you're generating, how much your payouts, what your payout revenue is, how much revenue per product type, net revenue per country. We build all these different dashboards that go on here so you can visualize your data in different ways. And we're constantly adding to this and adding new screens. These are just 2 examples of screens where, again, you can see your pass-fail ratio per broker, the reason why people are breaching their accounts, when time from order to payout, the payout size, the average payout size. You can see all this information inside of these dashboards. We have more screens than this. I just have these as examples. But again, data and visualization of that data is something that we spend a lot of time on, making sure each of our partners have access to this information in the format they want, whether you want CSV files or where you can go and manipulate it and put it in the format that you want, or whether you just want to see it in nice charts and graphs and things like that. So all of our partners get these, and for the partnership model. So from a back-end perspective, that covers a lot of what I was looking to cover. I'm going to spend 1 or 2 minutes here on the dashboards. One thing that we do is we build configurable dashboards for all of our clients. So this is something that we do on our side. The way it works is, depending on which licensing option you go with, you can either pick from one of the templates that we have, or you can design a fully customizable dashboard, where if you want your own businesses look and feel, such as these, I've flipped through a few of these that have all their look and feel, you're able to go and design it. And what we do is we just ask for a Figma design. If you've ever used Figma, it looks like this, to where you can put a Figma design together, and you can send that over to us, and our team will work hand in hand to make sure everything is there. And when it's there, our team will actually go build that out for you and be near pixel perfect. So our team will go and actually do the development work. Your team will design it with assistance from our team, just to make sure that it's done correctly and all the information's there, and the user experience is what you were expecting it to be. So that's how all these ones I'm showing you are different. They elected to go the route of designing their own dashboard and that model and licensing option. But whether you use the go the fully custom route or you go the templated route. The features and functionalities are similar. Inside of here, we do a lot of user engagement tools directly inside the dashboard, whether it's videos where we've integrated with all the major video providers so that you can stream videos directly inside of your dashboard, or whether it's designing leaderboards to show off your profitable traders. Something that's very popular is doing these leaderboards saying, hey, top payouts in the last 90 days. This person received a $211,000 payout. This person received a $150,000 payout. They've been funded for 90 days on a 500K account. That's pretty good. They're almost, 40-something% profitability. Here's best trades. But what's cool is I can come down here and I can see these different traders. I can click on any one of them, and then I can see, sort of stats on them, and you get a little mini dashboard where anybody inside of the system can come look at this person's dashboard and see their percent return, their winning trades, their win rates, etc. So that's one user engagement. The videos are another. Another one that's pretty cool that firms really like is competitions. We initially built this technology for brokers, so we have standalone competition technology that a lot of brokers utilize. But then a lot of prop firms wanted to use it as a lead engagement tool to go and solicit and get clients, to where you can come and you can set up different you can set up different competitions inside of the system with different rules and parameters around it. So similar to setting up prop account, the only difference is prop accounts, people compete against the markets, where this is they're competing against each other for different prizes. So you can go give, unlimited prizes away to end users. You can put it in different rules, and then each contestant can go and register for it and take part in it. And so these guys are running one. You can see they're pretty successful. These guys get 58,000. I think they had 70,000 in one of their competitions back in August, which was just massive. But what's cool is you can click on standings, and similar to the leaderboard, there's a leaderboard for each competition. So all the competitors can go and they can go and search for other competitors or find themselves on the leaderboard through the search bar and see what everybody else is doing. So if I want to see what Lala 19 is doing, I can click on Lala 19. You can see it updated the stats here. I can see, some basic stats, and then something they do is they put every closed trade. And so it looks like they haven't closed their trade yet. You can see here that they don't show the open trades, they just show the closed, but you can see the equity there is, they're about $78,000 in open P&L, but they only have these 2 closed trades. Again, just the idea of this is lead engagement, user engagement inside the system, generate more sales. There's all sorts of calls to action. You get people on an email, you can go sync it with the marketing email in their systems to really drive those sales to your business. And with that, I'm going to pause and I'm going to see if anybody has any technical related questions. I know I covered a lot. I talked rather quickly through it, but I just wanted to, be cognizant of time and things, which is, why we touch on the high level items of our system. But if anybody has any questions or wants me to drill down on anything further, I'm happy to do so at this time. Otherwise, I can kick it over to Justin, who can go through the different licensing options. All right, Justin, I'll kick it back over to you. I think you're on mute, so if you want to mute yourself, you can jump in.
Yeah, thanks for that. I was saying a quiet group today, despite the high turnout. Not a lot of questions so far, which I'll take as a positive that you covered everything and answered all their questions. But thanks for that. And guys, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, as Trent mentioned throughout his presentation, please feel free to jump in with any questions that you have. You can unmute yourselves, use the Q&A, raise your hands as well. I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to take you through a document that I believe most of you have seen. Typically, this is something that I'll send out during the initial correspondence that we would have had when you reached out to our firm. And what's up on screen now is a table that illustrates the different licensing options we offer, the associated costs, and the included services. And I'll go through all of this and cover each of the different line items that are here, as well as address the partnership services that are associated with the partnership model as well. But just to make sure we've covered all the questions before I kind of jump into this. Anything still related to the technology side, or anything that you've seen so far during the demo? No. Okay, let me get started here. So I kind of gave you a little bit of history of the firm at the beginning of the call, and for sake of time, I'll try to be as brief as possible. But we've learned and adapted as well over the last 3.5 years in terms of what types of licenses, what types of services we should be bringing to the market to best address the needs and wants of prop firm operators, and how to maximize the opportunity. When we first came to market, we were like every other traditional SaaS firm, where we would build the technology to your specification, and then we would charge a active account fee per month. So if you had 10,000 active accounts, we would charge you a fixed fee for every one of those accounts, and that's what you would pay for the service. What we learned from that was two things, and I'll cover each of them, and that's what ultimately led to the different types of licensing options we offer today. One was that to effectively run a prop firm, you need to have more than just an idea, more than just a sales and marketing gimmick. You have to have capital to actually undertake this, because this is a real business. You have real expenses, you have real risk, and so you need to have a certain amount of capital available to fund your operation. And we found that many firms were very interested in this, and they had captive audiences either through social media or databases that they wanted to be in the prop space, but they didn't have the capital to do so. We also found that you need to have infrastructure, because this is more than just throwing up a website, throwing up some social media posts or banner ads. This requires operations. This requires customer support, admin people, finance people, treasury, marketing, risk. And so a lot of firms that, again, had captive audiences that they can mobilize and monetize, they didn't have the infrastructure to really support this type of business. And lastly, we found that, and really what's most important, and where we focused a tremendous amount of our energy going forward, is on risk management. And it is very easy to create a prop firm and put your ideas out into the market. It is very difficult, and it's very risky to actually make money through that business model. And so a lot of the smaller operators that we were engaging with didn't really have the wherewithal to understand the risk involved in running a prop firm. And we sort of took stock of this, and we realized that, well, not only do we have the technology, we have the requisite backgrounds from our trading and brokerage experience, and we have the infrastructure inside of our company, and we have a deep understanding of risk, and we have the capital and so on, that we could have our own prop firm. But we are not marketers. We do not want to be involved in the sales and marketing game. We do not want to have the relationships and develop those relationships with the end users. That's not our area of strength. But we looked at it and we said, well, here are all these operators that have these captive audiences that they can mobilize and monetize, and they want to be in the prop space, and they think they'll be very receptive to a prop offering. Why don't we create our own prop firm and offer that out to these parties? And so what we decided to do was create a white label. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Antonio, go ahead. Oh.
No, you're good, Justin. Sorry.
Okay. So what we did was we created our own prop firm that is completely unbranded and unmarketed by us. It only exists in the world through our white label partners. And within that white label program, we created a 1-step, a 2-step, and a 3-step program that is highly competitive, that has high passage rates, and it was based upon all of the data that we saw coming through our technology, and we wanted to create something that would work in the marketplace. And so kind of going through our white label program here, I'll touch upon all the things that are inherent with that. As I kind of mentioned, we have a 1-step, a 2-step, and a 3-step program that's offered. And I can send you all the plan structure and rules associated with those programs for your review. With the white label, you don't get to choose the rules. We choose the rules ultimately. You won't get to choose the broker. It's going to be our choice of broker, which is currently Think Markets. But what's really nice about the white label program, and touching upon those areas of need for some of these smaller operators, is it's our capital at risk. Every account that passes the challenge gets a live account that is backed by our capital and we are responsible for the margin capital with the broker. We are responsible for the payouts to the traders. You do not have any responsibility in that regard whatsoever. All of the purchases of the challenges run through our existing e-commerce solution, and for that we are able to accept credit card, debit card, PayPal, and crypto as available payment methods. What you get as our white label partner is everything that you just saw today from Trent. The only real difference is that inside the admin portal, the pages having to do with the plan structures, the settings and the rules associated with that, as well as the customer account settings, are only read-only. And the reason for that, again, is because it's our risk and our capital on the back end, we don't let you change the rules of the program or the settings for an individual customer. But you are still able to access all of those pages. You're still able to export it to CSV, use it for marketing purposes or customer support purposes to basically grow the business and service your clientele. The dashboard that we offer is not as customizable as some of the ones that Trent showcased during the very end of the demo. What we have done is we've built a templated dashboard that we brand for you guys. We will take your logo, your color scheme, your font style. We will make the dashboard and the checkout experience have a very similar look and feel to your overall website. And it will be a very high-end dashboard that we can show you, and it will not break the experience for the trader that they're continuing to work with your firm. We've spent a lot of time developing this and leveraging a lot of what we've seen and what we know traders like to see inside of their dashboards to deliver this type of experience. What's great about the white label program, aside from some of the things I've already covered, is there's just a one-time $3,000 fee. There's no monthly fee that you have to pay. Once you set up with us, we will build the technology for you, we'll deploy it, we'll host it, we'll secure it, and then we cover all the other costs associated with running of that white label. We're going to cover the brokerage fees, the trading costs, the capital costs, the payouts to traders, the payment processing fees. All of that is covered on our end. Your focus is predominantly on three things. You're responsible for building your own website, you're responsible for the marketing of the program, and the customer support when the customers come in. We will back up your support team with any questions that they can't answer, but we want you to develop the relationship with the client and you to grow your brand. And long-term with the hope of possibly moving into our partnership model, which I'll talk about in a moment. What you get with the white label is also all the other add-on features and technologies that we've developed or will develop. So that's going to include the ability to run trading contests. It's going to include the leaderboards. It's going to include the affiliate portal. It currently includes our e-contracts, which is, again, our version of DocuSign. So when traders sign the trader agreement, they're going to sign it electronically and natively through the trader dashboard. The reason that it says not applicable here is simply that because in the white label, we're the legal counterparty to those agreements. So we're the ones actually signing that agreement, but the customer still has the ease of use and experience of using that functionality. Similarly, as Trent mentioned, we did a deal integration and we'll be working on Crypto Orange and Rise early next year. We will automate all of that workflow so that clients can easily request their withdrawals via those different methods inside of the dashboard. That will trigger a message on our end to approve it. We'll do that for you. You'll be able to see the transaction actually happening from the admin portal, but you don't have any responsibility there because, again, we're the counterparty responsible for the payouts to the profitable traders or the payouts to the affiliates. What is great about the white label program is really two things. One is it's very fast to market. So if you're looking to get started right away, you can get started in about 2 to 3 weeks of time. That's really all it takes us to put it together for you. The other benefit is that if you're looking to get into the space, but you don't want to push all your chips into the middle of the table, this is a great way to get started without a lot of risk, right? It's a one-time $3,000 fee. We're covering all the other major expenses of operating the prop firm, and it gives you that opportunity to refine your sales and marketing approach. It's going to give you an opportunity to get a feel for the risk associated with the program, because you're going to see what percentage of traders are passing, how many traders are taking payouts. All of that information is going to be accessible from the admin portal. And three, it's going to allow you to build up a war chest of your own capital so that if you want to move into having your own prop firm with your own rules and your own capital at risk, you can do that. So you don't have to overextend yourself too early in the process. We have built the white label program as a feeder structure into having your own prop firm underneath our partnership model, where you can do all of the things yourself, and you can dictate how you go to market and the things that are most important to you. Any questions so far about the white label program?
For the white label, let's just say I wanted to go ahead and create obviously something, like similar to Search, just because obviously like the aesthetic is just super nice.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that Surge has that I won't be able to have?
So you will be fully responsible for building out your own front end website. So you can make it look as beautiful as you want from a website perspective. The dashboards inside of the white label program are a bit more of an off-the-shelf solution. So there's not a lot of customization outside of the fonts, the color schemes, the branding guidelines, putting your logo in place. Um, it is a dashboard on par with Search Trader. It just doesn't allow for all the full customization that you might want, because that's not what we're um, focused on in that one. It's more of a fast to market solution that gets you out there, but it is a very nice visual to use.
Is that 30% negotiable based on volume?
Yes, we can put in tiers into that, where once you've hit $1 million in gross sales, it will go up to 35% thereafter. Once you hit 2 million, it will go up and stay at 40%.
Awesome.
All right. So as I mentioned, we learned a couple things when we first launched in our traditional SaaS model. The other thing that we observed is that many of the prop firms that took our SaaS model would have us build out all sorts of features and functions that they felt would improve their business, improve the appeal from their traders. I see a question coming in here. Please clarify the 30% of gross sales. Essentially, that just means whatever the top line sales number is, you receive 30% of it. So if $1 million in sales came in, you would receive $300,000. And we pay that out to you on a monthly basis. I did see someone had their hand raised. If you want to jump in with a question, please go unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yeah, can we if we go with the white label and in coming days, we want to go with partnership standard, then it is easy possible.
Yes, it is. And I'll cover that in a bit more detail in a moment.
And do you need a company registration for the white label program?
You do not. It's recommended. But if you wanted to set it up as an individual, we can contract with you as an individual.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So, as I was mentioning, with the original SaaS licenses, they had us building all these features and functions that they thought were going to advance the cause and appeal of their prop firm. But it often failed to address the core problems that they were experiencing. And it reminded me of a business school professor I had that used to talk about bad operators in companies would see that they're losing $1 for every widget that they produce, but they think they'll make it up in volume. And no, all that does is it causes you to lose $1 faster. And so we were seeing a lot of that with these licensees, where they weren't addressing the core problems that were causing their firms to not perform as optimally as possible. And they would have our development teams go and build all sorts of features and functionalities, which was killing our developer bandwidth. And we would really rather focus on building features and functions that focusing on making these firms more profitable and leveraging the experience and expertise that we have in doing so. And so we sort of shuttered the complete SaaS model in lieu of what we call our partnership model, which is something to think about like a SaaS plus services model, where we're still going to build everything to your specification, but I'm going to talk about the different partnership services that we include in a moment. But you're going to get to leverage our team, our expertise, a lot of other features and brain power that you wouldn't know would be critical or important to running your business, positioning your business, or just maximizing the overall profitability. David, I saw you had a hand up. If you want to unmute yourself, you can go ahead and ask.
Hi, Vincent. I just want to ask, for the for the white label, in terms of PSP, because we're coming from an Asia country, is it possible to put in our own PSP?
It is possible. That would be a better conversation for us offline to talk about where the customers would be, which particular payment processor that would be, and whether or not we can get it integrated inside of the payment gateway that we use. But I'd be happy to have that chat with you offline.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep.
Hey, Justin, quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
If we wanted someone to like go ahead and design our website, do you have anybody that you would recommend?
Yes, we have a couple of firms that have built prop firm websites as well as prop firm social pages and overall building and handling their branding. I'd be happy to put you in touch if you need a recommendation for that. You can just message me afterward and I'll make those intros.
Perfect. Thank you.
So what we came up with, yeah, no worries. So what we came up with is our partnership model, and right now you're going to see our Partnership Pro and our partnerships. Sorry, did you still have a question, Antonio? Okay. So we have two different partnership models here that you see, our Partnership Pro and our Partnership Standard. The Partnership Pro is coming soon, and that is only intended for very high skilled development firms that want to connect to us via an API and build their own trader dashboards. This does not apply for about 99% of the firms that we talk to, so you're not missing anything out on that. Additionally, everything else between these two models is exactly the same. It's just about how the dashboard is created. Looks like I just got disconnected there. Give me one moment, please, folks. Can everyone hear me? Can someone raise their hand or just unmute themselves and let me know? Okay, thank you, Grace.
Yeah, you're loud.
Okay, so I'm not sure what happened. Looks like I got restarted there for a moment. So the partnership program is something we started about 18 months ago, and it became wildly successful because it allowed prop firm operators who had great ideas, who had a marketing angle and an edge that they wish to exploit, to leverage the knowledge and the data that we have from our side. And so when you look at the elements of the partnership model, it's basically the inverse of the white label program. So in the white label program, where it's our rules, in the partnership, it's your rules. In the white label, where it's our broker, you get to choose the broker. And we've integrated with over 25 different brokers at this point. In the white label, it's our capital at risk. In the partnership, it's your capital at risk. That means you're going to be funding the margin accounts. You're responsible for the payouts to the traders. Additionally, it's going to run through your payment gateway and payment processor relationships, which means you control the flow of funds, and we invoice you at the end of every month instead of us paying you at the end of every month in the white label program. Unlike the white label, instead of having those plan pages and customer account settings as read-only, every page is fully enabled for you, and you're in control of who has access to what pages or who has edit rights inside of the admin portal. Additionally, instead of having the branded dashboard based upon the template we've created, Antonio, to your question, this is where you could go and submit to us a Figma design of the dashboard that you want, and we will go and build it to that design to as near pixel perfect as possible. In terms of the commercials and moving forward with the partnership model, as you've probably gleaned from Trent's demonstration, there's a ton of configuration, there's a ton of integration, there's a ton of granularity in the workflows that you want embedded into how your prop firm operates, into the customer experience. And so the initial fee to include all of that and basically take your prop firm from the idea stage to launch is $25,000. Once we deploy that for you, we charge a monthly fee, which is 25% of net sales. We define net sales as gross sales, less payouts to traders, less any A-book trading losses that you incur in hedging some of the risk. And that equation, that structure is essentially our way of putting our money where our mouth is in terms of helping you run your prop firm, because we feel extremely confidently in helping you to minimize and mitigate risk on the back end of your business. And so if we do a great job of minimizing your risk in the operation of your firm, you make more money and we make more money. If we do a poor job and you make less money, then we make less money, but we're willing to take that risk with you. Similar though to the white label, what you get is everything that we offer. So everything that Trent showcased, trading contests, leaderboards, affiliate portal, the e-contracts, the outbound payment rail integrations, all of that is included. All of the additional stuff that we're working on that's part of our roadmap will be included. So you'll get the Tableau dashboards, you'll get the Rise integration, you'll get some of the new things that we're developing in terms of risk dashboards and trading tools. We're also bringing to market the ability to not only trade through the platforms that are offered by the broker you choose, but also to be able to trade through other platforms like DXTrade, TradingView, CTrader, MatchTrader. So you'll be able to cater to the preferences and wants of your trader. Model from really anything else that's out there in the professional services. Again, this is where you get to leverage our expertise and our experience in our careers in the trading and brokerage industry, as well as 3.5 years of administering over 100 prop firms and seeing millions of traders come through and tens of millions of trades and lines of data come through. And so what I've done here is I've broken out the services that we provide into those that we provide at the outset and those that we provide on an ongoing basis. And the best way to think about this is on the left side, we're trying to get you off on the right foot. On the other side here, we're trying to keep you on the right path. And so at the outset, what we're focused on is making sure that you choose a preferred website platform. The reason that this matters is it often dictates what payment gateways are available to you. And which payment gateway you use is important for two key reasons. One is certain payment gateways allow for much more creative checkout workflow, and a lot of that checkout workflow can include like point of sale add-ons or upsells that do extremely well to increase the average ticket value of an order. Additionally, it impacts which payment processors are available to you. And payment processing is the lifeline or lifeblood of your business. If you lose your payment processors, you can't onboard new clients. This is very, very important. With regard to processors, we've also spent a lot of time developing strong relationships with processors in the space to help them understand the industry, to understand the nature of our technology. And so we can make some warm introductions for you to work with payment processors that get what you're trying to do, and also that will deploy certain downstream tools at their disposal to help minimize or mitigate the risk of chargebacks happening with some of your customers. And as Trent touched upon, chargebacks are a real thing in the prop space, and you can pretty easily see why. Sometimes you're going to have a trader that's going to buy a challenge. He's going to blow up his account in an hour. He's going to be angry, pissed off. He's going to call his bank or his credit card company, and he's going to say, this was fraud. I didn't authorize this. It wasn't as described. Whatever excuse he can create to possibly get his money back. And to him, he sees it as a free option, but to you, it's a major risk. It risks revenue that was earned. It risks your payment processing relationships, and it's also time. It's time out of your day, your team, to go and fight those. So what we have done for our partners is we've created a chargeback mitigation team. We actually have people whose sole focus is handling chargebacks that come through your firm. So if you get a chargeback, you'll notify our team. They'll go in, they'll build the case file, including all the trade data, the correspondence, the IP logs, other activity, other indicia of purchase behavior to prove that no, this customer came through in the usual course, they got exactly what they purchased, there's no justification for this chargeback, and we have a very high success rate in winning those for you. So instead of you having to deal with this and worry about it, we're going to deal with it on your behalf. One of the most important things we do is we provide a risk-based review of your plan rules and metrics. So many of you are probably looking at other prop firms and saying, well, I want to be just like XYZ firm, but I want to offer slightly more accommodative terms to traders and I want to undercut them on price. But you're doing that in a vacuum. You're doing that from purely a sales and marketing perspective without any understanding of what the back-end risk poses to you. And so what we want to help you to understand in the intake and onboarding process is what is the real risk of those plan rules and metrics that you want to go to market with. And if it is unsustainable, we will let you know. If it is outside of your risk appetite, we will work with you on tightening up some of those rules to bring it more within your comfort zone. But this is one of the most important things because it allows you to understand the risk before you get started, and it allows you to forecast and budget this for other expenses that you're going to have, like marketing and overhead. We're going to help you with your dashboard user experience. So as I mentioned here, you'll submit to us a Figma design for your dashboard. Our team is going to go through that Figma, and we're going to point out if you've missed any key elements, if you don't have the right calls to action in the right place, if you don't have the right user functionality that should be there to create a smooth user engagement. We're going to provide feedback. It's an iterative process. We're going to give that back to you. You can go back to your designer and give them an opportunity to make the necessary updates and edits to that file before we go and build it. We will train your support team. We're going to train your support team on not only how to use the admin portal as we've demonstrated it today, but also how to investigate customer issues so that you can provide a more timely response to your customers. The next two are really important. We will help you with your brokerage setup. And this is more than just choosing a broker. This is in how you set up your accounts with that broker to minimize the margin capital you need to post, to minimize your spread costs, your commission costs, your swap costs. Done effectively, this does a lot to save you a lot of money through your trading activities. Also, we're going to make sure that the liquidity and the execution provided by that broker is sufficient to help eliminate a lot of the toxic order flow that you see from certain communities of traders that try to take advantage of vulnerabilities in the feed that prop firms offer and basically bypass the challenge process altogether. So we're going to help to make sure that you have the right type of liquidity there as well. We're also going to help with any sort of database decision making that you have. This is essentially where if something can be quantified, we can measure it and we can articulate it to you. So we can help you with pricing decisions, understanding the lifetime value of a client, anticipating what the number of repeat purchases might be, things that will help you to make more informed decisions that will ultimately affect, your marketing, your customer support, your promotions, things of that nature. And lastly, we will provide overall strategy and competitor analysis. This is a two-way street. This is where we're going to share the things that we're seeing and hearing. We're going to try to prepare you for best practices, to work with best vendors, to adhere to the latest regulatory guidance or suggestion and advice that we're getting from our council so that you can incorporate that into your business activities. And this is also where you get to ask us any questions that you have. It might be that, hey, I saw firms A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z offering these types of new tactics or gimmicks or plan structures. What are your thoughts on that? Should we incorporate something like that? We have partners that engage with us maybe twice a month. We have others that we talk to 500 times a day. This is up to you how often you want to leverage the people on our side that are there to service your partnership and to make sure that your firm is informed and running as smoothly as possible. On the ongoing side, this is where we add the greatest value to you under the partnership model, because the greatest threat to a prop firm is risk management. And risk is something that exists on a continuum. It never stops. It's not like you can just set up your plan rules and metrics here and turn a blind eye to the day-to-day risks that your trader activity poses. It is something that requires vigilance and expertise to be done effectively and optimized. And we have invested a tremendous amount on our side in terms of personnel and conducting of manual reviews, as well as developing all sorts of trading algos and data modeling to identify risk factors, to identify toxic flow, to identify areas of vulnerability, to build risk profiles for you. And that's all of what we bring as part of this. Is you have direct access to our risk team, and our risk team is building models and tools specifically for the unique structure of your prop firm. And so some of the things that we provide on an ongoing basis along the risk side of things is we'll help with A-book, B-book classification. So we're going to look at your traders and we're going to say, Justin, based on his history, is someone we recommend A-booking. Trent is someone that we recommend B-booking for X and Y and Z reasons. One of the things that we're moving to in the near term is more of a dynamic hedge, not focused so much on the individual trader, but on the net open position of the entirety of your book as well, which leads into the next thing that we do, which is dynamic internal hedging. This is where we're currently doing two things and where we're going to add that ongoing real-time net open position hedging for you. But right now, what that consists of is just because we put a trader into an A-book or a B-book doesn't mean that that's where they reside forever. Changing trader activities, changing risk profiles within that specific account would dictate maybe moving the account from the A-book to the B-book or vice versa. And so we're constantly monitoring that for you. Additionally, we're monitoring for any major concentration risks that you have in any one position or one product, right? So In a few weeks, we're going to have a non-farm payroll at the beginning of the year, and that's a major economic release. If you happen to be long $50 million yen heading into that number, that might be a lot of exposure and financial risk for you as a firm, and you might want to have an opportunity to go and hedge that exposure. So we're going to bring those things to your attention, give you that opportunity to hedge that. And then when we move early next year into our dynamic hedging, where we're actually going to create active hedging models that you'll be able to subscribe to minimize the risk specific to your book, that will be another tool that you can use to minimize a lot of those risks. The next two are fantastic ways to eliminate a lot of bad actors from your program. So we have created blacklists. We have two different types of blacklists, one for bad actors, one for bad strategies. Bad actors are typically those that are deploying toxic trading strategies, where they're trying to take advantage of the terms and conditions of your program or violate those outright, but they're not really adhering to the spirit and the idea of the program. And also it includes those that commit chargebacks. If we identify those groups or those actors inside of your program, you have a blacklist module that allows you to prevent and preclude them from purchasing any new challenges inside of your program. And this is very important because putting up resistance against these types of bad actors protects you from the larger communities that they work with. And so if some of these early bad actors come into your program and they detect that you're vulnerable to certain types of toxic trading strategies, for example, you're not going to get one person or two people that are doing it. You're going to get 5,000, and that could cripple your business. And so we want to put up resistance, and we want them to go and violate other firms that are not yours. So using that blacklist is a great tool to build up that resistance. Similarly, we screen for what we call bad strategies. A bad strategy doesn't mean something that is a toxic strategy, although it does include those toxic strategies, but it means that it's any strategy that can create undue concentration risk for your book. So that can mean off-the-shelf EAs, off-the-shelf signal services, or copy services, or we pass your challenge services. Because a healthy prop firm is going to have 5,000 traders with 5,000 distinct strategies. But if you have 5,000 traders all trading the same product in the same direction at the same time, you can't hedge that risk. And so we don't want you to have that concentration risk on your books. We're going to identify it. We're going to help you to eliminate those bad strategies from the program. One of the coolest things that we've developed is what we call our prohibited trading alerts. So we have developed over 20 different types of algos that actually run in the background on all of your traders' accounts, looking to identify any suspicious trading activity that might be a violation of your terms of service. If we identify one of those, it goes to our risk desk. They go through all the trading activity inside of that account for you, and if their conclusion is that it's likely that this person is violating one of your terms of service, they're going to send you a message, and it's going to say, Justin, account 1234 appears to be engaged in latency arbitrage. Our recommendation would be to breach the account, add him to the blacklist, and refund his challenge fee. Something along those lines is the type of message that you would receive from us. Our risk team is also going to go and do all sorts of custom report creation for you. They're going to use those Tableau dashboards that we demonstrated. They're going to use some internal risk reports that we're demonstrating, different modeling that we're using, and they're going to let you know, hey, here's all the accounts that passed your challenge today. Here's what we see in terms of risk profile. Here's what we see in terms of A book, B book classification. And you're going to be able to use those recommendations to guide your decisions in terms of how you manage risk on a day in and day out basis. As I mentioned, we will train your support team, but we are tier 2 support to your entire team. So we will be there and you will have direct access to our operations personnel, our devs, our risk team, our chargeback mitigation team, our strategy team, our customer service, our product, our project managers, our relationship managers. So you are not alone. You get about 10 people from our side that are fully versed in your build, that are there to service and work directly with your team every single day. So this is where anything that comes up on your side that you don't know how to answer or address, our team is there to back you up. This is where you get to submit new ideas. This is where you get to submit requests for changes of settings or rules or plan types. And you have direct access through both a ticketing system that we offer you, as well as we create a Slack channel where the dedicated people from our side are in the room, along with all the people from your side that you want to communicate directly with us. And so again, we have partners that we talk to literally 500 times a day. So you can take advantage of our team, our expertise, and all the personnel that we have that are there from all the different types of disciplines and things that you need to be concerned about on the back end of your business. I sort of touched upon this, but any new tech upgrades and integrations that we develop, you're going to have those made available to you. So as we continue to evolve and develop new features and functionalities, you're going to get the benefit of that as well. This next one might sound a little strange, but as Trent mentioned, we have a lot of prop firms that started as 1- and 2-man teams, and then some of them grew into 300-person teams. If you've never been part of a rapidly growing business, it is incredibly important to make sure that you make the right hiring decisions. And so if you're looking to make any sort of key hires like a director of marketing or head of operations, we're happy to interview those people on your behalf. We know the skill sets, the experience levels, the temperaments, the personality traits that these people should have to execute those various roles. We're happy to help you in making those hiring decisions because we know how important it can be to the trajectory of your business. And lastly, is just as we provide strategy analysis at the outset, we're going to provide it on an ongoing basis. And this is again where you can take advantage of us and ask all the questions you want. And this is where our team is going to be doing everything in our power to make sure that you stay ahead of the curve in terms of what's happening, what's coming within the industry. With the partnership model, because it is much more of a heavy lift in terms of all the configuration that goes into it, it takes about 4 months from when you complete the intake process for us to deliver the final product to you. If you want to get to market faster, what we can do is we can take the template branded dashboard from the white label side of things, and we can implement that for you inside the partnership model. This will allow you to get to market in about 60 days, and we'll continue to build the custom dashboard for you in the background. And as soon as that's ready, we'll swap in the custom dashboard for you. So you don't need to necessarily wait until the custom dashboard is ready to get to market if time to market is something that's important to you. I am cognizant of time here, guys. We've been on for about 2.5 hours. I know it's a lot. I know we've covered a lot. I don't have anything else to present. I'm happy to pause here and open it up for questions. But as I mentioned at the top of the call, I'll follow up with everyone that's participating here today to address any questions, curiosities, concerns that you might have. And ultimately, I hope this was helpful and will allow us to possibly work together in the future. But any questions here before we break? Pushpender, do you have a question?
Yeah. So, who will decide the fees of program in byte level?
We decide the custom rules and the pricing. You have some discretion over the pricing within a certain range that we make available to you.
Okay. So, will you explain an example like 25% net sale in a partnership standard?
Yep. So 25% of net sales is going to be your gross sales. So let's say you made $1 million in sales, less your payouts to traders. So let's say that you paid out $300,000 to traders, and less your A-book trading losses. And this is where you would go and hedge certain trading exposure. And so your net sales would be $600,000. Our fee would be 25% of that, or $150,000.
Okay, and not include and marketing and all the other stuff.
No, it would not include those things because we don't have any control over those other expenses. There's a good question that just came in. Oh, go ahead.
The byte level, you have any sales target?
No. We have white label partners that do a minimal amount of business. We have others that do hundreds of thousands a month. We're pretty flexible there as long as you're actively trying to promote the program. We're not there to put arbitrary, thresholds on you that you have to meet to continue to participate in the program. There's a good question that just came in on the partnership. How much capital or how much risk capital is required? Great question. This is heavily dependent on the rules of your program, largely your max drawdown rules, as well as the leverage that you offer to the traders relative to the leverage that's given to you by the broker. Because it's heavily dependent, it's hard for me to give you a specific answer, but what we typically tell firms is you want to have around $150,000 to $300,000 in available capital. This does not mean that it's money that you have to spend anywhere. You might put some of it up in a margin account with the broker. The rest of it might sit in your pocket to pay out any traders that are due a payout that were on a B-booked account, for example. But what you want to avoid, and I can't stress this in any more strong enough terms, you want to avoid defaulting on some of your obligations to traders in the early days of your operation. Not being able to pay out traders is the quickest way for your prop firm to fail. And our objective with the partnership model is to help position you so that you always pay out every trader. You are not like a lot of these prop firms out there that find, very convenient excuses to not pay their traders. We want you to always exercise best practices, and that includes owning up to your obligations under the program that you've invited people into. Question is a very similar question about the required capital, so I think I've just covered that. One question is, if you sign up for the white label program, when can you switch to the partnership program? At any time. As I mentioned, the white label program is seen as a feeder program into the partnership. We would love for you to build up the confidence, build up the capital, build up the wherewithal to make the leap into the partnership program. And we have helped to transition a number of our white label partners from the white label to the partnership. So that is definitely something we'd love to assist with, and it is a great way to start in a very low risk environment before you make the real leap and have to start committing significant amounts of capital and building out infrastructure to run a real business.
If anyone wants to know all about the white label, like what will be the role, okay, what will the program, okay, payouts, matlab all things. So how can we know that, sir?
Sorry, are you asking what are the actual the rules and the plans and the costs associated with the white label program?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could just shoot me an email on that, I will send you all the documentation that covers it. For sake of time, it would take too long to start demonstrating all of that now.
Oh, sir. Can we have a personal Zoom call or another call for white label if we want?
Yes, of course. Someone is asking website creation. Do we offer the website? No, we don't build your front-end websites, and you wouldn't want us to. The reason being that if we did it, everyone's website would start to look the same, and we don't want that. So we suggest that you go and build your own website. As I mentioned to someone earlier on the call, if you need a referral to some firms that have built prop firm websites before, I'm happy to make those introductions for you. And we do a lot of that too. When we talk about working with best vendors and best practices as part of the partnership side of things, we'll introduce you to the vendors that we think are suitable for brokerage, AML KYC work, email hosting, payment processing, web development, things like that. We're happy to make certain referrals and recommendations to firms that we know execute very well in the space. Any other questions? I see one just came in here. Is 30% for payouts the industry standard? I have no idea. That is what we offer to our white label partners. It is higher than virtually every affiliate structure that you might find with any prop firm, and they don't offer you any sort of branding, whereas here you're getting 30% of gross sales with no other costs, plus you're getting the branding that allows you to reinforce your own relationship with your clients and hopefully move into having your own prop firm one day without having to make a brand shift where you went from referring to some other prop firm and now encouraging those same people to work with yours. Looks like no more questions. Oh, no, one just popped in. Question is with regard to the partnership program, other fees such as payment gateways, broker setup, KYC system, does that come with a separate cost? Yes, you are responsible in the partnership program for all of those separate vendor relationships. Typically, there are no upfront costs for payment gateways, broker setups, KYC integration. All of those services are typically variable costs. So you really only start to incur any meaningful costs when you're actually onboarding each customer, which is great because it's not a huge upfront lift for you to have to deal with. You're paying it from the revenues that are already coming in the door, which is nice. All right, with that, no more questions, it seems. I really want to appreciate everyone for participating. I know this was long. I know we're midway into December and some people are already mentally checking out for the holidays. As I mentioned, I'll follow up with everyone. Would love to hear more about what you're looking to do. Would love to find a way to work with you and bring you into the FPFX Tech family. If I don't connect with you guys, or you don't respond back to me beforehand, I want to wish everyone a happy holiday season and a healthy new year, and really hope that we can find a way to work together. So have a great rest of the day, and hopefully we'll speak soon and have an opportunity to work together. Cheers.